statistical concept which is often used to compare groups. Now think about it. How can we compare groups? What are the different ways of comparing groups? Just imagine that I did an intelligence test on male students and female students from class 10 to 12. Now I have two groups, one group of male, one group of female. I want to know whether males are more intelligent or females are more intelligent. How can I do that? Now just imagine that I have 200 students, male students, and 200 female students. Now if I go on studying each and every student's score and then compare it with all 200 students of the other group, it is going to take a lot of time. And also it is not possible to make any meaning out of it. We cannot say that males are more intelligent and females are more intelligent just by studying those scores, two set of scores of two group of people on intelligence. Now we need to have some kind of an indicator which tells us that as a group, this group is here, and as a group, this group is there. If we have that kind of indicator, then we can say that in general, this group is higher than that group. Now, fortunately, in statistics, there are three different kind of indicators which talk about group in general. Now, whenever you use these kind of indicators, you lose the ability to, let's say, talk about a specific individual or a specific data point in a data set, but you get the, let's say, power, or you get the tool to talk about the entire group rather than referring to each individual of the group specifically. So in this context, these tools, statistical tools, are very useful. In statistics, the thing which is used as representative of the group is called central tendency, and it is called central tendency because it is all about finding the center of that group. Now there are three distinct measures of central tendency. One is mean, which we all know, we all are familiar with mean. In layman language it's called average. So if you take the average of the group 1 males, and you take average of group 2 female, you can see that if, let's say, the group average of male is 52 and female is 54, so then you can say that females as a group seem to be, look to be more intelligent than males. Now, however, this average might or might not be the representative of the group. Now, let's look at some cases when average could be like really representative of the group. One case would be that most scores are around that average and there is no extremely high or extremely low score, because when we take average, it is very much influenced by the extremely high, extremely low score. Just think about it. In a population, it is possible that 99% of the people are above average. How? One small example. Just imagine that I have 100 people randomly taken from Hyderabad population, and I measure their financial net worth. Now, just imagine that it comes out between range of $20,000 to $30,000. Now, I take the richest person in Hyderabad and I add that in that group. Now, the average of the group will increase to more than 30,000, which means that in the group of 100 people, now by adding that person it becomes like 101. So in a group of 101, 100 people are below the average. So when you have very extreme score, it shifts the average towards it. So if you have a high extreme score, then the average will shift towards high side. If you have low extreme score, then the average will shift towards lower side. So average might not be representative of the group. Now in these cases, there is another statistics which is representative of the group. Now let's take the same example. Instead of taking average, what we do is that if we arrange people in the ascending or descending order based on their net worth, and we take the midpoint of that order. So we have 101 people. We took the 50th person, either from top or from bottom. It will be the same. Now, that number will be more representative of the group because we know that almost 100 people will be around that number. Only one person who is beyond that number. So if we are talking about the group, if we talk with median here, that number is called median. It's the midpoint of a database, or midpoint of a number of observation, or midpoint of a group. So whenever there is something which is not distributed in such a manner that distribution, all the scores are kind of near each other and there is no very far score or very high or very low score, then mean is a good representative of the data. But if data set is such that there are some scores, could be of anything, like it could be income, it could be intelligence, it could be height, it could be size of the house and things like that. So if some scores are very high or very low, then mean is not representative, then you take median. Median is the midpoint of the database, and that tells you more information, or it is more representative of the group. Now, let's take another example. Suppose I want to know what is the most common shoe size in Hyderabad. Now, in that case, if I get a sample of people from Hyderabad and I measure their feet size in terms of shoe size, like 4, 6, 8, 10, 9, 7, like that. Now, if I take average of that, it is going to be disastrous. Because what will happen, I can guarantee that if you take people's of Hyderabad, their shoe size will come roughly around 4.5. That will be the average. And not a single person will have exact size of 4.5. So in that case, average is not useful. Secondly, if we take only 20% of the people have shoe size of 6. So in that case, what we do is that we take the number which is coming most often, and we take that number as representative of the group. So if we find that 60% of the people are having a shoe size of 7 in Hyderabad, then that will be representative of the group, and that statistic is called